Everybody smiles in the same language. A smile, let your light come shining through.
Welcome to the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. I'm Sandra M., coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico, the land of enchantment. I interview people from all parts of the world about what happiness means to them. What are they in love with? In each episode, we'll give you a key to happiness to include in your life. And of course, we'll play a happy tune from my live Celebrate Happiness Roadshow.
A smile doesn't cost you anything.
Welcome to the second season of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. And don't forget to catch up on any episodes from season 1 you might have missed. Today we're talking with Deb Bissonette, who lives in rural Vermont with her kind and loving husband of 40 years. They raised 2 wonderful daughters who have given them 4 beautiful grandchildren ranging from 5 to 11 years old, and who are a constant joy in their lives and keep them very busy with a wide range of sports and school activities. Deb has been retired for 3 years and finds retirement busier than working a full-time job, and that it has so many redeeming qualities, such as being able to spend more time with her family and wonderful friends. And Deb says that longer lunches are a wonderful part of her happiness, as is being free to travel when she wants to. Retirement is a piece of the pie towards happiness, says Deb. Enjoy life, smile a great deal, and be happy as much as you possibly can. Hello, Deb. I am so excited to talk to you about happiness. Welcome to the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow. Could you please, I need to start with a question I always ask everybody, which is, what makes you happy? What are you passionate about? And why is it so important in your life?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for having me on your podcast. Happiness to me, honestly, I feel that it's like being present and finding the joy in every moment or all the moments in your life. I feel happiness is an emotion that can encompass a wide range of emotions, from positive feelings to contentment to absolute joy. This can be a wide range of experiences, from other things, achieving your goals or spending time with family and friends, engaging in the joy of my family and friends. That's where my happiness comes from, to my family and my friends, and all those things that make me happy in my life.
Well, I hear that you really have 4 beautiful grandchildren. Is that right?
I do, and I have 2 daughters, and they've given us 4 beautiful grandchildren, and that is pretty much what has made our life, my husband and I's life, very happy. We are so thrilled and joyed to have these children in our lives.
What are their ages?
So the ages from 5 to 11, and they're very, 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 very busy. They have us. I think I'm busier now than I was when I was working a full-time job. But they keep the joy in our lives, and yeah, it's joyful to have them.
Do you live close by? Is that so that they can come over to your house a lot?
They live right close by here. We live in rural Vermont, and they're just a hop, skip, and a jump away, so I can see my grandchildren every single day, and that brings us so much happiness. We're involved in their lives, they're involved in our lives, and that's what, I think having a family close by makes everything joyful and happy in our lives.
Yeah, to me, it's sort of picture perfect in a sense that I always think of Vermont as being snowy. You see all those movies at Christmas time, where people have extended family and doing so many things together. I've never been to Vermont, but I understand it's absolutely beautiful. Spend a lot of time in nature?
We do. We used to ski. We don't anymore, but We're outside a lot. My husband grew up on a farm here in town, so we raised animals, and my children were exposed to many things on the farm. The farm is now completely shut down because of economics and whatever. But it's a nice state to raise your children in, and it's we love it here. We just absolutely love it here.
I understand that you were in education. Is that correct? When you were working a full-time job, did you work with children a lot?
I did, yes. I actually ran the cafeteria at school, and I dealt with children every day. And I really believed in, my mantra was to treat those children as though they were mine and make sure that they are able to get access to food, which is, as we all know, is very hard and difficult as times are getting worse now. And I just made sure that all the children at school were part of my family. So I treated them as though they were my son or daughter.
I bet you they loved you. And did you give them extra something or other at lunchtime?
Of course. It was, if anyone ever came to me,
Yes.
it was always a yes. It was never a no. And like I said, I wanted them to be treated as though they were mine. So that was really important to me.
Tell me a little bit about, like you said, it is hard. The state does supply a certain amount of money for school lunches. And do they also have breakfast or just lunch? How does that work?
So we served on daily basis. We served breakfast and lunch, and then we had a snack program to make sure that the children that came to school, if they didn't have a snack due to economic hardships or whatever, I made sure that they felt like they were part of the group in their classroom, and they could have access to a healthy snack. So and meals were important to children. So I made sure that each child was able to have some type of come down for an apple, an orange, whatever it may be, a yogurt, and I made sure that was happening.
Wow. This is very interesting because I do understand that a lot of children do not have adequate food. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And you don't realize there's so much poverty even in this little rural town. It's just so prevalent right now, and it's sad to have this happen to children. Well, anybody, but to children especially.
Yeah. Wow. So it's a very important role. I don't have children myself, so I don't really know too much about what, the school system and so forth, but I can see that the food program is a very important role. I mean, they can't function very well, right, if they don't have their stomachs filled. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they have done studies where they've showed that children that don't have anything in the morning tend to learn less and cannot focus. So with children that have stomachs full and have been able to access to a good healthy breakfast tend to learn much better than those that do not. So that's very important to make sure that, especially the morning, give them a healthy breakfast and let them get started for the day.
I feel the same. I'm one of those kinds of people. I have to get up in the morning, and the first thing I do is have breakfast, and then I'm ready, to go for the day. And I have a good breakfast, not just, toast and tea or something. Yes, so I am right with you on that. I have another question. Because you're so involved with children and your own children and your grandchildren, I understand that you work with the Reardon Foundation and with your best friend, Jan Reardon. As I understand, the two of you are besties. Is that correct?
That is correct, and that's how I got involved. Jan, we've been high school friends for a long time, and we actually used to take care of Mike, the head of the Jennifer Reardon Foundation, when he was little. And so I got involved with them through Jan, and we did a kindness tour, East Coast kindness tour, and we started up here and went all the way down to Savannah, Georgia, and we went. We spent about a week and a half, and we visit nonprofits throughout the East Coast and found where kindness, where caring and sharing is all their mantras that they believe in. And we stopped at a daycare. We stopped at a Ron and Don's dog rescue. We stopped at a church. It was it changed a lot of my views as to a lot of people how much kindness is out there, and how much people can make a difference by helping someone else.
Join Sandra M. for her live performance of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, a toast to love and happiness in life, an uninhibited musical adventure guaranteed to awaken your happiness vibe. Celebrate with upbeat rhythms, love songs, and fun stories, some told by you in the audience. Sandra's musical guest and accompanist, Todd Lowry, sings his hopeful and happy originals. To book Sandra M. and the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, email sandra@sandramcknight.com. Celebrate happiness with Sandra M.
So I got to ask a lot of questions about this, because this is very unique. A kindness tour you're talking about. So
I am.
And you're directing, the kindness tour is directed toward children?
It was directed towards children, but just nonprofit organizations helping communities, helping women's empowerment. We did one daycare where the children were coming in, and they were teaching the children about how to take care of themselves, how to become a contributing member to society, and then helping the parents as well within this daycare to help them, especially young Black men, how to be a father, how to be a mother, how to take care of yourself, how to write a check, how to, all those things that are life altering and everybody needs to know about.
You went to a daycare, and then how about this Ron and Don dog rescue? How did that work? What happened there with the kindness?
So we went down, and they have done for the last 17 years, has worked on coming in and taking, going into shelters and taking dogs that are abandoned or dropped off at the SPCA or whatever that is, and they bring them to their home. Literally, they have a home where they have hundreds of dogs within their home, and help either get them adopted. It was remarkable how much they've done. They were both into raising horses, and they go to shows, and they would bring some dogs with them and try to get them adopted. And so they were rescuing hundreds and hundreds of dogs, and it was amazing. They were two amazing men that are doing such a kind thing within their community to help homeless dogs and
Well, but the point is, did they have a ranch? I mean, hundreds of dogs, they have to have a big space, right?
They did have a big house, and amazing enough, everywhere within their home. It was a house, yes, and they had the garage as well. And they would do, the dogs basically lived with them. They were part of the family, and they would take care of them until they either passed or they were adopted. And it was such an amazing thing to see hundreds of cages or puppies in the corner, and they took care of them, and they knew exactly what each dog needed. They took care of them and made sure that they lived out their last days either in dignity or are adopted. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
So when you went to the Ron and Don dog rescue, why did the kindness tour stop there? Were there children involved in that, or were you just finding out that they were being kind to them?
They were not. There was no children there, but we just went to see the operation and to see what their kindness, their mantra was, in the sense of helping others within the community, helping other people, helping the animals, being the advocate for these animals, and making sure that they are taken care of, making sure that they're moving forward and helping within that community, and that either a kill shelter or instead of getting having dogs euthanized, So it was quite a journey.
Well, all the way down to Savannah, Georgia. That's a long distance from Vermont. How
How many
many
places
places did you actually stop?
We stopped at one, I'm thinking five places. Yeah, I'm thinking five.
And how did you pick those places? Do you know that? I mean, did Jan do that, or did you just?
Jan did that. She, I did a little bit of research and found different places that we could stop and showcase kindness and caring and sharing.
And do you have any idea why Jan decided to do this? I'm assuming she decided and asked you, or did you decide to do this together?
We were speaking one day, and she was talking about this, and I said to her, I might be interested in going with you and trying and seeing how this, what the kindness tour is actually about. And she said, great. And so I ended up going with her, and it was a fantastic opportunity for me. Like I said, I changed my outlook on a lot of things, that there are kind people out there in the world.
So this is fascinating to me. It changed your outlook because, number one, you just said there are many kind people, that you just didn't realize that there were so many kind people in the world. And then what other changes did it have on your outlook?
Well, we always, when we see on the news, we always hear about the negative. We never hear about the positive. We never hear about, we never hear that somebody helped a homeless person find a place to live and possibly get a job, or we always hear about, that instead of the positive, we always hear the negative. And it changed my view on it's not always a negative world. There is a positive world, and there is people out there that want to make a difference helping others.
So you heard a lot of good news, right? Don't bring me any more bad news. Give me some good news. And so does one of these stories, one of these pieces of good news stand out in your mind, other than the dog rescue people?
Well, we were at a church, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. The gentleman who was the pastor at the church, he told us a story that was just unbelievable. He happened to go to a store one day, and he saw this young man sitting in a car. And he went into the store, came back out, he was still sitting there. And he said he felt it in his soul that he needed to go over and talk to this man. And he ended up going over, talking to this man, told him to come and see him, and can he help you? Can I help you in any way? And the gentleman said, well, I kind of, and the story ended up where the pastor helped this young man. He was planning on committing suicide. This gentleman saved him this day. And it was by chance he was happened to be at that store that day. No, I think he was there for a reason. He was sent there to actually help this young man. He helped this man get a job. He ended up getting a place to live. And I think that was, it was meant to be. It was meant for him to be there and to help this young man. That's a powerful story.
Join Sandra M. for her live performance of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, a toast to love and happiness in life, an uninhibited musical adventure guaranteed to awaken your happiness vibe. Celebrate with upbeat rhythms, love songs, and fun stories, some told by you in the audience. Sandra's musical guest and accompanist, Todd Lowry, sings his hopeful and happy originals. To book Sandra M. and the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, email sandra@sandramcknight.com. Celebrate happiness with Sandra M.
A powerful story. Thank you for sharing that with us. And where was that? The pastor, what part of the country?
This was in Baltimore, Maryland.
So I imagine there's a lot of people who do this type of thing every day, and they just, on the Facebook, you see so many memes saying, just be kind. You never know what other people are going through, right? And a little bit of kindness can change somebody's life, and you might not even realize that it's happening right then and there. Well, that's good. I mean, we had the podcast before this one was with Mike Reardon, and he talked a lot about the Jennifer Reardon Foundation, and this is like an extension of some of the activities that they do, and I think it sounds wonderful. And do you know whether you're going to be planning on doing this again?
Jan and I had talked about it, maybe going out west, and maybe doing one, but we're both retired now, and we're both busy with life, and so I don't know. I don't know. We keep saying we are, but we're not sure. It could happen. I'm not sure yet.
Well, I'm out here in the West. I'm in Santa Fe, right, in New Mexico, which is just above Albuquerque, which is where the Reardon Foundation is located. And maybe we'll all get together at some point. Who knows? I want to go back now to just your own life and your children and your husband. What does he do? Is he also retired?
He is not. He's a respiratory therapist at the hospital. He's been there for at least 38 years now. He's on the road to retirement. He's just he's extending it a little bit. He's not quite ready to retire. So, but he just works a couple days a week now instead of 5 days a week. So he's getting there slowly and surely. He's getting there to retirement.
I imagine it was very important. His job was very important during the pandemic.
It was, and it was also very scary. Being in the mix of COVID was scary for our family to kind of go through it. We had a system in process where when he came home, he would take off all his clothes, put it in the wash machine, go take a shower, and not try to bring anything back to our family. So yeah, it was interesting and scary at all this and all at the same time.
So I have a few other questions I'd like to ask you. It's about happiness and how it affects perhaps your health or other people's health, because you said in the end here, to the introduction that I read for our podcast, that enjoying life, smiling a great deal, and being happy as much as you can, do you think that directly affects your health? And if so, how does it affect your health?
I think happiness, I feel happiness is a choice. I feel happiness can be an internal decision. I think it really does affect our well-being, I think, our health, our outlook on life. I think that we can't be happy all the time. That's not real, but we can make that choice to be happy, and we can make that choice to how do we view something? How do we view it instead of going in negatively, go in positively, and maybe that might be a better outcome for you.
Going into what? Going into life? Going into a particular situation?
Yes, going in. You can make the choice to. You may choose or have the ability to approach most of it in all the situations that happen. I truly feel that the more you choose to be happy, the more powerful it may become. And the challenge is to be kind all the time.
Yes, right. I know it's hard to do this all the time, but I think people do realize that the kinder they are, the happier they are, right? And the happier they are, the kinder they are. It sort of goes both ways. Because if you're happy, you just automatically are more kind to other people. And I'm a follower of the Dalai Lama, and he talks about the fact that the natural being of people is to be happy. People want to be happy.
Right.
It's not like they don't want to be happy, right? But there are obstacles that we have to overcome.
Yeah, I think happiness is a way of living. It's truly, it can be more than like a fleeting emotion that really comes and goes. I feel that happiness can really be a natural part of who we are, even if it's covered up by the negative thinking. We can be happy. We can't be happy all the time, but we need to be able to achieve happiness as a destination. Make a choice to be happier.
Join Sandra M. for her live performance of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, a toast to love and happiness in life, an uninhibited musical adventure guaranteed to awaken your happiness vibe. Celebrate with upbeat rhythms, love songs, and fun stories, some told by you in the audience. Sandra's musical guest and accompanist, Todd Lowry, sings his hopeful and happy originals. To book Sandra M. and the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, email sandra@sandramcknight.com. Celebrate happiness with Sandra M.
Right. And so as you went around on the tour, you began to see how many people really are out there being kind to other people. And I would dare say that being kind and helping other people does make them happier, feel more satisfied, feel more connected to other people, to the world itself, to life. I do think in this country, a lot of people are very isolated. They feel, they're very isolated. You said you live in rural Vermont. Do you notice that the isolation is prevalent there at all? Or do people really come together more because they are? Mm-hmm.
I do. I think that isolation. I have a friend that does Meals on Wheels, and when we go to lunch, she talks about that. She talks about how these people, when they come to the door, they have so many questions and want to know her and talk to her and have her come in and sit down and because they don't have exposure to other people often. And she said it's hard for her because she has to deliver all these things to other people. And she said, but she finds the time to be able to sit down and just have a few words, because just a few words of kindness, I think, would go a long way. And it just makes them feel like they're part of society. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of this country is rural. I mean, there are so many areas where you really don't see people very often, right?
That's right.
I mean, you told me that you were raised on a farm. You had a farm, right? You raised your children on a farm.
Well, we are a rural community, but we're not isolated. We're about 20 minutes from Burlington, which is, the biggest city in Vermont. Mm-hmm. And we have a high school in town that's the area high school out of 4 other towns. But we still have access to, things. But but it was a slower pace, and it was a quieter pace, and it was happy times for us, because the farm was, my children got to exposed to things that probably a lot of children don't, the birthing of a calf, the death of a calf,
yes.
Things like that. And so I think they were well-rounded, I guess is the word I want to use.
That's a perfect word to come to the end of our podcast. I have enjoyed talking with you so much, and I'd always like to find out whether you have any last words to say for our listeners, any thoughts that you want to share?
I just want to say that thank you for having me. I think that people just need to understand that, just to be grateful in their life. I'm grateful in my life every single day for my family and friends, and for being a part of their lives every day, and having them be a part of my life every day. And just view life as it's a journey. Make it happy.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you so much, Sandra. I really appreciate that.
Keys to happiness number 9. Keep a journal. A journal is a good way to organize your thoughts, become aware of your feelings, and make plans for the future. Writing it down on paper often makes everything in your mind much more clear. It can be as simple as a few notes before bed. Newsflash. Please sign up for your copy of our Keys to Happiness at sandramcknight.com. Thank you for tuning in to Season 2 of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. And if you've enjoyed the conversation, please help spread the word by sharing with your friends and family. Before I go, I'd like to thank today's guest, Deb Bissonette, for sharing her happiness story. And to share your happiness story on the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast, send an email to sandra@sandramcknight.com.
Turn your smile on, you can't go wrong. You'll find that love is all around. Follow your bliss, no one is.